Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Nur Sabrina binti Sallehuddin from BA 2733D. My matric number is 2023696244. In this video, I will explain about bringing to light the reason and obstacles supporting forced labor in the Nepal-Malaysia migration corridor. So, let's begin. Before we go further, let me explain a simple definition of forced labor. The ILO Forced Labor Convention 1960 defined forced labor as every work or service demanded from a person under threat of punishment and which is not voluntarily offered by such person. In other terms, a forced worker is someone who has been forced or pressured to do responsibilities against his will. Malaysia is a major destination location in the region for millions of migrant workers on contractual and temporary contract. Despite a long history of labor migration into Malaysia since the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Malaysia still views worker migration as a temporary measure to overcome labor shortage, eventually shaping the current migration infrastructure that produce multi-dimensional form of precarity. Approximately 2 million migrant workers received VPTE in Malaysia as of June 2019. These workers were primarily from Bangladesh, Nepal and Indonesia. Nepal ranked among the top 3 countries supplying migrant workers to Malaysia alongside Indonesia and Bangladesh. According to the Ministry of Human Resources 2019, there is an official record of documented migrant workers in Malaysia, including those from Nepal. Additionally, the Nepali government reported that as of 2020, it has issued over 4 million labour permits for migration to Malaysia since 2000. The Ministry of Labour, Employment and Social Security (MOLES) is the main government body in Nepal responsible for managing the foreign employment of Nepali workers. MOLES is tasked with creating, implementing, coordinating, monitoring and evaluating national employment policies and regulations such as the Foreign Employment Act 2007, the Foreign Employment Rules FER 2008 and the Foreign Employment Policy FEP 2012. Both governments strictly regulate and manage cross-border migration in the Nepal-Malaysia corridor. Migration is controlled by various legislative frameworks and supported by technologies like Nepal's Foreign Employment Information Management System. In Malaysia, the recruitment process for migrant workers starts with a technology-based application via the Foreign Worker Centralized Management System. Despite this advancement, there's ongoing public criticism regarding the lack of accountability and transparency in the recruitment process, as well as the unstable working condition. As we can see in this statistic, the labor force participation rate rose by 0.2 percentage point to 70.3% from Q4 2023, which is 70.1%, indicating higher labor participation in the market. This shows that the labor force in Malaysia are increasing from year to year. Firstly, what is the issue about? This study investigates the causes and obstacles behind forced labor cases among migrant workers in the Nepal-Malaysia migration route. It examined the entire migration process from pre-recruitment and pre-departure stage in Nepal to post-arrival condition in Malaysia. Nepalese workers are the third largest migrant population in Malaysia after Indonesia and Bangladesh. According to the Immigration Departure of Malaysia 2020, Nepalese workers make up 15.6% of the 1.5 million migrant population. Table 1 displays the total number of Nepali migrant workers documented with VPTE by sector in Malaysia. In Malaysia, migrant workers, particularly Nepali workers, are often engaged in economic sectors that are often deemed dirty, dangerous and challenging and are frequently rejected by local workers. Existing research indicates that migrant workers, including Nepali workers, were initially recruited in their home country through a complex recruitment process that included layers of labor agent, broker, middleman and social network. The complexity of the recruitment process has numerous adverse consequences, one of which is the amplification of recruitment costs faced by workers, putting workers at risk of forced labor. So, what is the factor of forced labor cases among migrant workers in the Nepal-Malaysia migration route? The first factor is that migration via a regular or legal route is frequently lengthy, difficult, and simply unavailable to many aspiring workers in such countries. Furthermore, in many situations, prospective workers depend largely on unauthorized intermediaries, individual brokers, and smugglers to cross border. As a result, prospective workers who are economically disadvantaged or without access to the financial market and approved labor intermediaries frequently use illegal migratory routes, making them more exposed to forced labor. Second, previous research indicate that there is a complex combination of push factor in such country that drive people aspiration and capacity to move across international border in quest of good work. Chronic poverty and a lack of acceptable labor prospect are among these factors, as are family pressure and societal expectation, as well as the provision of migration infrastructure that stimulate cross-border movement via numerous channels, which is legal and illegal routes. Third, growing research indicate that migrant workers in Malaysia and elsewhere, regardless of nationality, are frequently viewed as disposable people and are frequently excluded from the state protection and social welfare system. Other studies claim that there have been persisting preconceptions about migrants in destination nations, with them viewed as a disease factor and a financial burden on the hosting government. Such negative preconceptions continue to impact government, resulting in migrants becoming less deserving and entitled to human and labor rights. This leads to the ongoing abandonment and exclusion of potential and actual victims of forced work from seeking justice and redress. Next, we will discuss about addressing the gaps and challenges in the migration trajectory and prevent forced labor. First and foremost, any future bilateral agreement between Malaysia and Nepal have to concentrate on strengthening the legal and administrative structure in order to get rid of unapproved intermediaries in the hiring process and to keep a close eye on hiring procedure to ensure that Nepali workers are employed in industry where they are required in the Malaysian labour market. It is suggested that suitable job matching be done in Nepal. Before Nepali workers sign employment contract, they would also get detailed briefing on their right, job placement and obligation. By contrast, the Malaysian government need to provide a standardized post-arrival orientation program for all migrant workers, including those from Nepal, to ensure that they are informed of their rights and responsibilities. Maintaining compliance with labor law and preventing forced labor need regular employer interaction. To prevent a spot violation of labor law, including forced labor, it is also essential to increase law enforcement and inspection in high-risk industry that use migrant labor. All things considered, the goal of this action is to improve migrant workers' safety and eliminate their vulnerability to forced labor in Malaysia and Nepal. Additionally, the National Action Plan on Forced Labor NAPL 2021 until 2025, a strategic plan to end the use of forced labor in Malaysia by 2025, has been introduced by the Ministry of Human Resources. According to MOHR Minister Datuk Seri M. Saravanan, the guiding principle of awareness, enforcement, labor migration, access to remedies and support services form the foundation of this strategy. He continued by saying that the data were concerning, with the ILO's 2017 global estimate indicate that up to 24.9 million people were engaged in forced work worldwide. So let's proceed to the effect of this issue. Migration is viewed as a driving force for Malaysia's economy and considered to benefit the Malaysian economy, migrant workers, their families and the sending country. This is because migrants are seen as cheap workers who are able to fill labor shortage in key sectors like construction, manufacturing, plantation, agriculture, and domestic work, with some actors emphasizing that Malaysia would be paralyzed and collapse if migrant workers stop coming. However, in terms of forced labor, it brings negative effect to the country itself. Negative publicity, such as scenarios of forced labor, will harm the reputation of company and the country among buyers, customer, and investor. Dealing with and eliminating forced labor is both a human right and economic concern. Low salaries and bad treatment of foreign workers will have an impact on macroeconomic development and growth. Malaysian image-related issue caused by poor treatment of migrant workers in the global economy make it more difficult to expand the manufacturing sector in the value chain and create skilled and high-paying jobs for citizens, preventing growth aspiration and limiting broader national development. To conclude, interagency collaboration within the government is critical to implementing the National Action Plan and supporting efforts to protect victims of forced labor. The government must take initiative to educate the public, leader, and enforcement agency on global challenges. Families and children who are subjected to forced labor also lose out on help and educational opportunities. All parties involved, including government, non-government organizations, law enforcement authority, and the global community, must collaborate to overcome the issue of forced labor. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching.